Part 1. The Quiet of the Two Rivers and the Breaking of Innocence. The novel opens not with its young heroes, but with a haunting prologue set 3,000 years in the past, during the cataclysmic breaking of the world. Luz Theron Telamon, once called the Dragon, wanders madly through the ruins of his palace, unaware that he has murdered his entire family under the Dark One's taint on Saidin, the male half of the One Power. Ishamael confronts him, restores his memory, and leaves him in despair. Luz Theron channels so much of the power that he destroys himself, creating Dragonmount. This prologue establishes the novel's fundamental themes: the cyclical nature of time, the danger of power, madness tied to destiny, and the heavy burden of being the dragon reborn. From this epic tragedy, the narrative shifts to pastoral calm in the isolated Two Rivers, specifically the village of Emmons Field. Life here is slow, rooted in sheep herding, farming, and seasonal festivals. Ranchi. Althor, the story's principal viewpoint character, lives with his father Tam on their farm. Rand is practical, earnest, and somewhat naive about the wider world. His friends include Matrim, Mat, Cawthon, mischievous and irreverent, Perrin Ibarra, thoughtful and physically powerful, and Egwene Alver, the mayor's daughter, intelligent and ambitious. Egwene's desire to see the world contrasts with Rand's quiet contentment, creating a subtle tension between them. The first tremor of change arrives when Rand and Tam encounter a monstrous, human-sized creature with a distorted, eyeless face watching them from the woods. A Trolloc, though Rand does not yet know the name. Soon after, strangers enter the village: Moiraine Damodred and her warder Lan Mandragoran. Moiraine claims to be a noblewoman, but her poise and quiet authority hint at something more. Lan's warrior presence is equally striking. They are clearly outsiders, and their arrival unsettles the villagers. That night, during the Beltane festival, the attack comes. Trollocs overrun Emmons Field and the surrounding farms. Rand and Tam are attacked at home. Tam reveals hidden swordsmanship skills, suggesting a mysterious past. He is wounded by a poisoned blade. Rand desperately drags him through the night to the village. Trollocs also attack Mat's and Perrin's homes, confirming the raid target's specific families rather than the village at random. Moiraine reveals herself as an Aes Sedai and heals Tam with the One Power. She explains that Trollocs and their masters, the Myrddraal, Fade-like commanders, serve the Dark One. More troubling still, the attack was not random. The Shadow is hunting 3 boys of the same age: Rand, Mat, and Perrin. Moiraine believes one of them may be the dragon reborn to face the Dark One. For their own safety and to protect the village, they must leave immediately. Thus, innocence ends. Under cover of night, Rand, Mat, Perrin, Egwene, who insists on going. Moiraine, Lan, and the gleeman Tom Merrilin slip away from Emmons Field. The small, familiar world gives way to a vast and dangerous one. Part 2. Flight across Andor and the shattering of the Fellowship. The group flees through forests and roads, pursued relentlessly. Moiraine begins instructing Egwene in channeling, sensing that Egwene has the spark of an Aes Sedai. Egwene's eagerness contrasts with Rand's unease about the power, especially after learning men who channel go mad. Tom provides stories and cynicism, acting as both entertainer and quiet guardian. Their first major obstacle is the cursed city of Shadar Logoth. Once Arid Hall, it fell not to the Shadow, but to paranoia and hatred so intense it bred its own evil. The city's presence underscores one of the novel's recurring ideas: darkness can arise from humanity itself, not only from the Dark One. Against Moiraine's warnings, Mat takes a ruby-hilted dagger from a treasure hoard. This act seems trivial at first, but will have dire consequences. Mashadar, a malevolent fog-like entity, attacks. In the chaos, the party is separated. This moment fractures the fellowship structure and launches parallel character arcs. Rand, Mat, and Tom flee on the River Spray. Tom becomes their protector, juggling, performing, and bluffing to keep them alive. Dark friends pursue them, suggesting the shadow's reach is vast and subtle. Eventually, a Myrddraal confronts them. Tom sacrifices himself to allow the boys to escape. Believing him dead, Rand and Mat continue alone. Meanwhile, Moiraine, Lan, and Egwene travel with Nynaeve Almeara, the wisdom of Emond's Field, who tracked them down through sheer determination. Nynaeve distrusts Moiraine fiercely, but possesses impressive skills and latent strength in the power. Perrin, separated from Rand and Mat, encounters Elias Machera, a mysterious wanderer who can communicate with wolves. Perrin discovers he shares this ability. The wolves accept him, but the power frightens him, raising fears of losing his humanity. Rand and Mat's journey grows increasingly desperate. They perform for ins, to survive, but Mat's behavior deteriorates under the dagger's influence. Paranoid, suspicious, and ill. Rand begins experiencing strange coincidences and bursts of improbable luck, subtle hints of unconscious channeling. Dreams of Baalzamon, a figure claiming to be the Dark One, haunt all three boys, suggesting they are being psychologically hunted. By the time they reach the city of Caemlyn, Rand and Mat are exhausted and barely functional. Their innocence has eroded into wariness and fear. Part 3. Caemlyn and the Convergence of Fate. Caemlyn represents the boys' first true exposure to the wider world's political complexity. Rand accidentally stumbles into the royal palace grounds while trying to glimpse the false dragon Logain, who has been captured after leading a devastating rebellion. This incident highlights the world's instability and foreshadows Rand's possible destiny. Inside the palace, Rand meets key figures: Elaine Trakond, the daughter heir, Gawain and Galad, and Elida, an Aes Sedai advisor. Elida foretells that Rand is central to the pattern and dangerous, intensifying the sense that fate grips him. Meanwhile, the separated parties reunite at an inn. Moiraine immediately recognizes the dagger's corruption of Mat and suppresses it temporarily. She confirms the shadow is focusing specifically on the three boys, reinforcing her belief that one is the dragon reborn. They learn that Loyal, an Ogier scholar, is staying at the inn. Loyal is gentle, verbose, and deeply knowledgeable about the ways, ancient, magical roads. His presence broadens the world's history and adds emotional warmth. Moiraine decides they must reach the Eye of the World, a legendary refuge of pure Saidin. The Green Man guards it, and prophecies suggest it will be crucial in the coming struggle. Since the Shadow knows their location, they must travel through the ways despite the danger of Machin Shin, the Black Wind. Their journey through the ways is claustrophobic and terrifying. Time feels distorted. Machin Shin nearly overwhelms them with whispers of their deepest fears and secrets. They barely escape. The tone shifts decisively. Childhood adventure has become mythic quest. Part 4. The Borderlands and the Weight of Prophecy. They emerge near Fal Dara in the Borderlands, a land perpetually at war with the Blight. Here, Lan's heritage is revealed. He is the uncrowned king of Malkir, a fallen nation consumed by the Shadow. His stoic dedication to fighting the Dark One mirrors Rand's emerging burden. The group receives hospitality from Lord Egelmar. Moiraine studies ancient prophecies and confirms their path leads into the Blight itself. The Blight is a twisted, poisonous landscape, nature corrupted by the Dark One. Traveling through it is physically and spiritually draining, symbolizing their passage into ultimate confrontation. Rand's dreams intensify. Ba'alzamon tempts and threatens him, suggesting that destiny cannot be escaped. Rand increasingly fears he might be able to channel. The characters' arcs converge toward destiny. Egwene and Nynaeve accept their futures as Aes Sedai. Perrin tentatively accepts his wolf nature. Mat remains ill and withdrawn. Rand alone resists any defined fate, clinging to the hope that he is ordinary. At the Eye, they meet the Green Man and discover wonders: the Horn of Valere, the Dragon Banner, and the pure pool of Saidin. These artifacts tie directly to prophecy and the world's cyclical rebirth. Before they can process this discovery, two Forsaken, Agenor and Balthamel, attack. These ancient servants of the Dark One represent the past intruding violently into the present. Part 5. The Eye of the World and the Birth of the Dragon Reborn. The confrontation explodes into chaos. Balthamel engages the Green Man, killing him but dying in the process. Agenor chases Rand. In terror, Rand instinctively draws on the pure Saidin at the Eye. The experience is overwhelming, ecstatic, terrifying, infinite. He does not understand what he is doing, only that survival demands power. He channels vast energy, confronting Agenor and burning him out. Then Rand finds himself transported, perhaps physically, perhaps spiritually, to Tarwin's Gap, where Shadowspawn assault Fal Dara. He annihilates the Trolloc army in a single cataclysmic strike, an echo of Lews Therin's destructive might. Finally, he confronts Ba'alzamon directly and strikes him down with a blade of light. Whether this figure was truly the Dark One or merely Ishamael remains ambiguous. When Rand returns, exhausted, he cannot fully explain what happened. Moiraine, however, understands. Only the Dragon Reborn could wield such power. She gently confirms it without forcing him to accept it. The Eye is drained, its purpose fulfilled. The horn and banner are recovered, symbols of coming war. The world has changed irrevocably. Rand looks toward the future with dread. The quiet shepherd is gone. In his place stands a young man tied to prophecy, madness, and apocalypse. The wheel has turned, and the dragon has been reborn. Closing reflection. The Eye of the World moves from pastoral innocence to mythic destiny. Its central theme is transformation. Boys become heroes, villages become battlefields, legends become reality. Jordan balances intimate character growth with epic scope, establishing the foundation for a vast saga about time, fate, and the cost of power. By the end, the question is no longer whether the shadow will rise, but whether Rand can survive becoming the weapon meant to defeat it.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos.